Hello, my YouTube family. So we've had some exciting things that happened this weekend for Easter for us. We had actually caught 2 swarm of honeybees. This week, sometime this week, our new orders that we purchased months ago should be shipped out. So our apiary is actually beginning to get full again. Thank you, Lord. We have our vegetables are now in the garden, in the ground, and it's finally quit raining. We had rain day after day for the last few days. We're finally getting sunshine, and it's going to be a bit drier. So I'm going to take you out to show you later here the honeybees that we caught and to show you the garden progress. We are already picking from the garden back when James, also known as Hillbilly Bee Man, sporadically planted all those wild seeds. We had some collard greens that we picked, and I'm going to be canning those with some of my turnip greens, and we're going to be canning greens. I have chicken that I have to make into stock, and I'm looking at making some chicken shawarma. So these are videos I'll be making as well today. Along with on this one, I am going to be doing homemade granola, and I'm going to walk this with you. This one will have a Mediterranean twist. I like to have granola with my yogurt and my fruit. So I started, now I love all these, don't get me wrong, but I started looking at some of the ingredients and some of the processed, basically granolas, and I think I'm learning to enjoy more of a whole food lifestyle. So homemade from scratch is where I'm going to go. So I'm going to be taking you with me in the kitchen on this one. So we have some upcoming videos that we'll be working in today, changing in different areas so that I could work with you in separate occasions. But in the meantime, let's go outside and let me show you what new things have been going on and why we're so excited. Overlook the mess on this side. This is hubby's little station outdoors, but this was the first swarm that we caught. It's over by the cedar tree here. So hubby accidentally pretty much found this one out. We went to go keep the wasp away from this box and put peppermint in it, and it was kind of cool that day, and he opened up the box and saw 2 frames just full of bees. Shut the box immediately, and we've been watching them bring in pollen and everything, so they made this one their home. So this was our first one. Now I'm going to take you to the second one and explain how we got that one. This is the swarm that we actually caught yesterday. Now, it may be hard to see them here. I don't have my gear on, so I'll bring you up a little closer. But this is the box that we brought home yesterday. Hubby built this box, and we're currently feeding them, getting them oriented to this area. Now, how we ended up getting these is while we were preparing for our supper last night, my husband got a text from a lady who had bees basically form a ball in one of her trees. I think it was a popcorn tree. And so we decided, we took a box out here, you know, and we decided we'll go check them out and see if we can get them. It looked easy enough to get the swarm. It was a big old ball of them. So, and it was quite easy to get them. So that's how we did this one. We were called on this, and this was a blessing box, we call it. So they're currently getting oriented. James has this swarm and us getting it on his YouTube channel called the Heritage Homestead, the Hillbilly Bee Man. So check out that video, and it'll show how we actually ended up getting this swarm. We'll take you through the garden now. Okay, so here we got our spinach starting to come up, and I got to clean up some of these areas. It's rained so much, we definitely have stuff coming in here I don't want, like weeds. The eggplant, now these are the plants that were sitting on our table that I did from seed. This is amazing. So this is the eggplant. These are all those peppers that were on that table. They go across here. So far they're doing excellent. They're coming over here down this aisle. Now we have cauliflower right in here, some more peppers, and we're working on some bush beans right here. Along this fence line through here we have pole beans that we started, and they're starting to produce. Here we have the turnip greens, which I'm getting ready to cut to add to the collards to can those. And we have some kale here. I'm still waiting on some yellow squash and zucchini to pop up. Take you over here. This is the Jamaican sorrel that I have. I've got 2 of them. The other one is back here. They're doing absolutely amazing right here. We have our tomatoes. You know, I thought when I looked at this tomato, all those tomatoes on the table, I thought I had a lot. But when I put them out here in the garden, all I can say is, y'all, I really hope I have enough. This was the unexpected cilantro that popped up, and I'm going to tell y'all, I have been picking off of these. It's been amazing. So we've got all our tomatoes down here. I am so excited, y'all, that we've actually getting to start our gardening. I have sporadic lettuce that we have been picking off of. These tomatoes are doing absolutely amazing. These are our tomatillos. And then I have a few other tomatoes here. So this is our tomato house. The other greenhouse over there was our pepper house and beans. And then here, these were the bunching onions. They're doing absolutely amazing. And that salad bed, well, we've been picking off of it now. Super cool. I bring out my basket and start snipping, and we have greens. I'm going to take you to a few other places growing up as well. This is the radishes we're still picking off of. See if I can get in here to see some of these. Yeah, it's hard to see, but that sun is nice and bright today. Yeah, there's some in there. But we've been picking off of these about every other day. And once this starts getting, excuse me, cleaned out, I'll be planting some more. I'll take you to other places. Here's some more kale we did by seed. In here, I'm still waiting for the cucumbers to start popping up. I planted some along that back row. I have some of our popcorn. Over on this side, we have this whole entire area of popcorn. I'm starting to see some of their leaves. I had some sporadic kale over here. Some Swiss chard there that just popped out of nowhere. So basically, where I had planted but didn't think they'd come up. I have some herbs coming up in, or going to be planted, or have been planted in here. Tarragon, some cumin, and plenty of dill. So we're starting to get our gardens to pick up. We're starting to get everything planted. I pretty much took every seed that I could think of, and they're in the ground just waiting. I have something that keeps eating those seeds. As I mentioned the last time, my seedlings for my beans, they keep it up. I'll just put another one in. I'm thinking it's a squirrel though, because we keep finding pecan nuts in our garden, and they don't just get in there from falling, because these trees are too far away from those things over there at the greenhouses. So it's got to be squirrels. Now I'm going to take you over to the herb bed. Now on the way to the herb bed, I just happened to notice this beautiful strawberry. This is the biggest I've ever seen them. The only problem is it's going to the chickens because something helped itself. So let me go feed this to the chickens, and we'll take you to the herb bed. Okay, so our parsley came up absolutely amazing. It got cold stratified and they started coming up excellent. We have a beautiful hedge like of our oregano, which I am super happy about. Now we planted some thyme, some lemon basil, some anise, some chives, and sweet marjoram in this bed. We're waiting to see how things go in here. So we're just waiting, and at this point, we're starting our homestead. So, and I've got one more section. And honestly, I'm realizing at this point, I don't think I have enough space. I may be making some more stuff just so that I could grow even more, especially the way we live. Okay, so over here we have some more turnip greens. I did plant some more Swiss chard, which I'm not seeing nothing just yet. I planted some, what do you call it, cilantro over here as well. I am looking to plant something right here yet. I've not thought about it at the moment. I do have space. I may just go ahead and put some more bush beans right here. And in here I have a new kind of head lettuce from M.I. Gardener. It's called Pablo lettuce. 2 out of 4 seeds ended up sprouting, so we'll see how these go. But I may go ahead and plant some bush beans right here. So, and I'm going to be doing that today after I do a few things, after the granola and doing the chickens. So let's go back inside for right now. On the way in, I happened to see this here is some arugula lettuce. We have some ruby red Swiss chard. Here we have lemongrass. Those were from the seeds, and look how amazing they're doing. Our pomegranate tree actually made it through the winter. This is one citrus tree that has made it. Bless its heart, it's pitiful right now, but it's starting to form its leaves. And that's about it at the moment. So that was the tour of what's going on the homestead now. We are just getting started, and it's amazing. I still have some more of the reserved tomatoes and peppers that I planted later. They need to be transplanted, and sorry y'all, Smokey is actually hitting the tripod right now. I guess she wants attention as well. But anyways, those need to be transplanted so they can go outdoors next. I am looking, because it gets super hot here in the summer, I am looking to keep that light system up in the middle of my table, taking some rectangle planters and probably planting lettuce indoors during that time so that we can have something. I did get my heart broke as we're starting to see leaves come onto the trees and everything. I have 3 that really it really broke my heart. I have an olive tree that did not make it. This freeze, I guess was too much for all of these. Now these other 2, they were indoors, and for some reason they just didn't do well. It was another Meyer lemon. The one I showed you is my established, more older Meyer lemon tree, but the youngest one did not make it. My key lime, my only key lime, did not make it. So, and then I lost my olive tree. So that was devastating to me. I really wanted to see how this worked, and that if we can actually get the citrus and be able to have my own olives that I can make my own brine with. So I guess I'm going to have to chalk it up as that ain't going to happen. So I'll be pulling those, unfortunately, and using those spaces and pots for something else. In the meantime, right now, though, I am going to take you in the kitchen with me, and we are going to make some homemade, some fully wholesome, delicious granola. So let's get to cooking. Okay, before I begin, I will inform you this is not an ingredient or one for a diabetic. However, if you watch the ingredients, you can actually make this a low carb way, possibly. If you do make this for low carb or for a diabetic, I would use it in very small, minimal amounts. Test your blood sugar. You can substitute any of the sugar uses in this, such as this one requires honey. You can eliminate the honey and maybe do a chalk zero type of syrup. It calls for brown sugar. You can substitute it with Swerve brown sugar. You can absolutely use all the nuts and seeds. When it comes to the oats, you may be able to find a substitute for that or just totally eliminate it. So this can be worked versatilely in either way. Just use your imagination. Check into some good resources and substitutions. Now, my husband doesn't really eat granola, so I'm not doing that and just wasting product, but I will eat it for me. So, and this is what we're going to do today. So I am going to start with 2.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. Okay. Next we have 3/4 cups of pistachios. That might be this whole bag. I'm telling you, we go and get things and they're just so small. But the prices are not small, I'll tell you that. What's left, y'all, I'm just going to add some extra nuts because there ain't enough. There was enough. Basically, you get a 4-ounce bag. I'll just tell you that 4-ounce bag is about 3/4 of a cup of nuts. So, sadly, and these were $4.50 a bag. So, whoosh. And now I need 3/4 of a cup of walnuts. And I am going to break these nuts down a little bit more. They're a little bit too chunky for this. So, get my small little knife here and we're going to be breaking them down. Okay, so we got the walnuts broke down. The next thing we need is a 1/2 cup of sunflower seeds. Now these are all our dry ingredients going in this bowl. And this is going to give me quite a bit of granola, which I'm super happy about. They'll last about a week, maybe 2 in a container. I went at Dollar Tree and I got this really nice size container here. And this is where I'm going to store my granola in for $1.25. This was nice. So, and I like putting, as you notice, my fresh on my counter. It just brightens up my kitchen and it just gives me an atmosphere like I'm in a different place instead of here. So the next one would be 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds. I'm actually going to skip the sesame seeds in this one. I need a cup of unsweetened coconut flakes. Now, I do not have the unsweetened. I have the sweetened, so I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of that to this. I have 2 recipes I'm going to try on granola. This one I had already prepared for. I have another one that I am going to be trying later once these are done, and I'm going to pick which ones I like the best out of the 2. And at this point, that's going to be the end of this mix. So I'm just going to take and mix this all up really good at this moment. And I'm going to actually set this aside. I found some of my walnuts that we didn't break up. Just break these down a little bit. Super easy to do that. And now I'm going to set this aside and get ready for the liquid ingredients that are going to be tossed in this. So on to the next. In the meantime, I've got my oven set for 350 degrees, preheated. So we are going to start with a 1/3 cup of honey. And this honey is our own bees from last year. And I cannot find these flavors in the store anywhere, so I am super, super excited about using this. And the fact that we have new bees, so before I run out of this honey, we'll have another stock. Okay. So that is 3/4 cup of our honey. I need 2/3 cup of tahini. Now this is where the Mediterranean section comes in. So we're going to be adding tahini to this, which is basically, again, this is nothing but pureed pulsed up sesame seeds, just like you would for peanuts to make peanut butter. Tahini is just pulverized sesame seeds. So I am going to get to the bottom of this container because, well, we have hit the bottom of it and sometimes it can stick in here. So I am going to get this cleaned up, get this up, and we're going to get our 2/3 cup of tahini into our mix. Okay, so we added 2/3 cup of tahini. It says to add about 1/2 cup of olive oil. And now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. About 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I'm actually going to cut that down to 1/4 cup because I had that sweetened coconut in my mix. So, and I don't really think I need all that much sugar in this anyways. I may not be a diabetic, but from where I came from, losing my weight and everything, I am very conscious about how much still in things to improve my health. So, and this would be packed. It would be 1/2 cup packed. I'm going 1/4 cup packed. And that should be good enough. And I need 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. That smells so good. And 1/2 teaspoon of cardamon. And we're going to mix this up really good. Now, we will be adding dry fruit, but that's going to be in the end after everything is baked and all that. So, it's not going to go in this right now. So, we're going to thoroughly mix this up really, really well. And then we're going to pour this over our dry ingredients that we set aside. Kind of curious of what this tastes like. Oh my goodness, y'all. This has a sweet, it's almost like a fall type of taste. It's got a sweet, nutty, cinnamony type of, wow. It reminds me of fall. All those flavors mixed in here, just, I mean, This is absolutely amazing. And by the taste of this sauce that's going in with that granola mix, I'm going to tell you, I have not, and you will not find this flavor in the grocery store. So I will definitely be putting this in the description box below for you. Now this recipe I got from Mediterranean Dish. She has some amazing food, and when I saw her do this, I thought I gotta try this. Now I did add my own touches to it, but she's the one I got the idea, and one of my really good close friends sent me another recipe I'm going to try later as well. So we're going to take this now. We've got this mixed up very well, and we're going to mix that in the dry ingredients that we've had. And I'm just going to pour this all up inside here, and we're going to mix it out really good. Get me a spatula that we're going to be mixing it with anyways. Now this stuff is really sticky, y'all, so we're just going to mix this all up in here really good. Oh my gosh, y'all, I cannot wait to try this. And then we're going to spread this out on a baking sheet. Again, we have our oven set preheated at 350 degrees. We're going to be doing this for about 30 minutes of baking this, but every 7 to 10 minutes, we're going to be coming in and stirring this until the whole thing is about golden brown. That's when we'll go ahead and add our dried fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and get this ready to spread out on our pan. And we will be right back. Okay, so now we got our pan. We're going to take our granola mix. We're just going to put it inside of our pan, and we're going to spread this out. You see, this makes a good amount. Now, when we stir it, we don't want to be too vigorous with it. You want to kind of have some clumps that we're going to work with. Oh gosh, y'all. It smells so good, and I'm still remembering that taste on top of it. Yes, I get really excited about flavors anymore. I guess I destroyed, in the process of a bad habit that I am working on getting rid of, I'm now being able to enhance my flavored tasting and smelling, and I'm actually enjoying this. And it's making me really excited to get in my kitchen anymore. I'm just going to basically spread this out pretty thin. And I am going to set my timer. I'm going to go about every 10 minutes. We're going to stick this in the oven, and at every 10-minute mark, I'm going to come back and we're going to stir these up. So get this remnants off our spatula, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in our oven. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to pop this in our preheated oven. I'm going to set our timer for 10 minutes. And we will be back to stir these ingredients. All right, our first 10 minutes is up. And I'm going to pull this out. take a spatula here. I'm going to mix this up really good. Just kind of come through here and stir these up. It is starting to get golden brown. Some of these edges, this is why you want to stir this up real good and make sure everything gets coated well. I think one of my mistakes was, ouch. Okay, hang on a second. I am going to get some gloves and take this off of this mat. I don't think that was a good idea. My husband's barbecue gloves. Absolutely love these things. It comes in handy for something like this. It's super hot. So I'm just going to push my granola off of this mat. What a way to do this, but I thought it was a good idea. Finding out it's not so much of a good idea. So don't use silicone mat for this. Just use your ordinary pan. It's good enough. Did not want to waste any of this, so I'll come back and scrape that off. Move that out of the way. So now I'm just going to go ahead and brush this through here. Spread it out evenly. And I think this time I'm going to go 7 minutes instead of 10 and go from here, because this is starting to absolutely get cooked. I'm going to take my ingredients off of my spatula. We're going to put this back in the oven for another 7 minutes. This is going to take a total between 30 and 40 minutes to do. So now we're going to put this back in the oven. Set our timer for 7 minutes. And we will be back. Okay, so our granola is finished. I am currently letting this dry up. It turned out beautiful, y'all. Absolutely beautiful. Now, once this dries up a little bit, I'll be adding our dried fruit, and I will come back and show you that part. In the meantime, I am preparing our chicken stock, and I'll show you how we're doing this. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I had basically some leftover onion. So I'm going to just take and cut this into wedges. We're going to throw this into our stock pot. And I'll be taking you over to the roasting pan that I use to make our stocks. I make quite a bit at one time. And that way I can go to can it when we're finished. Like I said, we are down to just a few packs or a few pints of turkey broth, and I needed chicken, and we have some farm fresh chicken that I'm using, so I'm going to throw it all in the roasting pan. Now what I have in this aluminum foil, my really good close friend, she had taught me about this, and what it basically is you take some aluminum foil, put in some paper towel with some clean celery stalks. Y'all, these last a while this way. These have lasted in my fridge longer than I thought they would. Well, longer than they normally do. So, I'm going to pass this on to you too to help save your celery, because if you're like me, you don't usually go through it fast enough before it starts getting pretty much bad. So, I'm just going to use a few stalks in here. I don't have any carrots, so I'm actually going to add the end of that in there as well. I'm just using it for flavoring anyways. Same with this celery. So I'm just going to roughly chop up the celery. Like I said, all of this is nothing but flavoring anyways. And then we're going to take you over to the roasting pan, show you what I do next. Okay, so in this roasting pan, I have about 3 medium-sized farm fresh chickens, and I am, actually one of them was a rooster too, so I'm just now going to currently throw in those celeries and onions. I am going to sprinkle in some kosher salt with this. Throw in a few peppercorns. I have some farm-raised or home-raised basil that was given to me that we had dehydrated. So that's a big old jar too. This will last us quite a while. So I'm going to throw in a couple bay leaves in here for more flavoring. And that is basically about it, y'all. Now I am going to put in some vinegar that will help bring out the marrow and stuff out of the bones. And I am actually going to let this sit overnight at about 250 to 300 degrees. That's all I need. Now I'm going to set this about 300 for now. Excuse me. Now I'm going to cover this. And by letting this sit in this roasting pan, it creates one of the most amazing broths I have ever had. So that's all I'm going to do with this. We done added our flavors, and you can add carrots and you can add other vegetables to this if you want to. It's really simple. You just add your chicken pieces, you add your seasonings, your vegetables, and you just let this sit overnight. And then once the meat's tender, I pull the meat off, and then we will use it in other meals. So basically, that's about it. Now we're going to go back over to our granola. Okay, so now I'm going to add in my dried fruit, which is going to be cherries and cranberries. I'm just going to mix this in. Now this does have some walnuts in it with this mix too. It was a pre-made mix, and it's what I had available, so I'm using what I have. And I can pull these out and put them in there. I don't really need this. It's in with my mix. You can add as much as you like. Probably adding about a half a cup to this. Now I'm going to let this cool off completely before I canister it up, and that's it, y'all. And just mix this all together. Now I will tell you, this is the first time for me making homemade granola, so I'm actually really excited about this. This looks and smells so amazing. So yes, I'm actually excited about this, and from what I've already tasted, it is amazing and the perfect thing to go with my either oatmeal or in my granola, or not granola, but my yogurt. So this is good. So I'm hoping that you all enjoyed this as well. Just add a few more of these, and that's it. Now I'm just going to let this cool off, and then we're going to put this in that jar that I showed you that we went and got right here. I am hoping you enjoyed being on the homestead with me, seeing the progress of what's going on with our future vegetables, and into bringing the Mediterranean, the amazing freshness into our homestead, into our preserving and everyday lifestyle in eating. I'm hoping you enjoyed having this granola that, oh my gosh, y'all, I may be snacking on some of this just a minute. So I will put the recipe in this. I have tried amazing dishes from the Mediterranean Dish YouTube channel. Susie is absolutely amazing, and it was an honor to share this one of hers. So I hope you enjoy it as well. If you have things that you would like to learn or whatever, leave it in the description box below. I am currently working on a bread source for low carb to try to save on the expenses in that. I don't know how much in saving it is because the ingredients to make low carb bread is kind of expensive, but I can go a longer way with buying the ingredients than just one loaf at a time. So I am working on another one. The first one I did, it was okay, but it wasn't that bread type of wow factor that we like. And so far, I need to find something that compares to the keto bread that my husband gets at Walmart. So I'm still working on that one. When I do, I will be making a video on that. I have many things that I'm working on right now. So it's just going to take me some time to get them all put out. I told you I had a whole lot of ideas. I am alive, I am awake, and I am busy. So you're going to be getting a whole lot more videos out of me since the weather is cooperating, since our gardening has started, and I'm excited, y'all. I am so excited. I'm excited to be back in my kitchen enjoying creating food again. So until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.